Welcome to Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. It's Andrade, and today we're going to talk about the Grizzlies, the Spurs, the Lakers, the Warriors. Then we're going to hop back to the East to talk about the Pacers, the Hornets, the Wizards, and the Celtics, because these are the first play-in tournament game post-game reactions. And we're going to start off with the Warriors and Lakers, because that is what ultimately inspired me to do the first post-game reaction for BTD for this season, or for these playoffs. And that's something I noticed, side note, that the big networks are just referring to the play-in tournament as the playoffs, so I guess that's what we're gonna call it. I didn't know we were gonna be just grouping it under postseason and then the playoffs is separate, because it is the play-in tournament to play into the playoffs. I don't know, random tangent, but it's something that caught my eye, and I was like, okay, so I guess is this just gonna be part of the playoffs, or the stats also gonna be part of playoff history in the history books? Like, I don't know. I guess that's just something that Adam Silver and co are gonna figure out down the line. But let's get into it. Curry and the Lakers, man. I know by the time you guys watch this, for the most part, you definitely probably saw the highlights and ultimately saw LeBron make that CAG shot. And yes, that was a CAG, lucky as hell. But in the bigger spectrum of things, I think that shot, stay with me here, is going to symbolize his development of the game and how he developed his outside shooting, like his game and his outside shooting, because that was from deep three. And no lie, it was a wet shot, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just bouncing off the rim. It didn't have bounces off around the rim like Kawhi shot. Like, it was just whoop. And I was like, okay. You could tell, everybody could tell at that moment it was a lucky shot, but still. And I think moving forward, when people see those highlights in LeBron's career, etc., it's just, there's a more symbolic, maybe metaphorical thing layer to it. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just something to point out, because it's something I was like, okay, because that highlight, and it's the play-in tournament. LeBron's first play-in tournament in it, and it was also the game-deciding shot. So, I don't know. Think about that. But ultimately, all right, Anthony Davis ended up with 25 points and 12 rebounds. LeBron James ended up with 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists, man. A quiet triple-double. And then the Warriors, Steph Curry had 37 points and 7 rebounds. And Andrew Wiggins helped out with 21 points. And the stat I want to point out for the Warriors is that they shot 44.6% from the floor and 44% from the three as a team. So something to keep in mind as I get deeper into it. But for this game, let's talk about the fact that this game is it's a prime example of why the play-in tournament was implemented. Because, yes, people are going to argue that if we just had the regular season or the regular playoff format from before, the Lakers and the Warriors would have just been slotted into the top 8 seed. But at the same time, just scratch all that. Think about how we could have more of those games with other 9th and 10th seeds, or moving forward, like 9th and 8th or 10th and 7th. I'm talking about like for the game 5 and 6s and other potentials. Like, those are the type of games we can hope for and expect sometimes. And this game just solidified that theory, or that example, you know what I mean? And because this one was through the wire. Actually, both West Coast games were tight, you know what I mean? Back and forth, stayed close. Especially the Warriors and Lakers, like, just stayed at it for a good amount of times. Even the Warriors had a nice little lead every once in a while early on. But it was, both West Coast games were far more entertaining, let's be honest, than the East Coast, that those teams just ran with it, the winners. So that was interesting. One thing to point out, I do want to point out, again, back to LeBron, is that injury, I'm sure it scared everybody. Definitely scared the NBA as a whole, and the league, the commissioner, everybody involved. Because LeBron goes down, that's your line, that's your money maker right there. But it's something that now, for me, it clicked, and I think some people are gonna watch out for this. It goes to show how fragile this Lakers team is this year. LeBron, maybe he won't say it, but I don't believe he's 100% back healthy. I'm sure most, or a lot of people, don't believe it. I even heard Stephen A. Smith briefly touch upon it after the game, and that fall didn't help, or doesn't help, you know what I mean? And that, all I kept thinking about moving forward is, okay, even if this fall isn't what ultimately injures him sideline in this game or permanently for like the rest of the year or playoffs, um, it just adds to like this guy's ankles that he already has been rehabbing. And keep in mind, this is still, while it is a man who is defying father time, and ultimately defining it in a lot of sense. He's still a 36, turning 37 later this year old body. You know what I mean? And you can be at peak health, but at the same time, it's still a 36 to 37-year-old body. And that was a fall. It was a hard fall. You know, it could have been way worse. Luckily it wasn't. But it just kind of, I don't know. It just raised a little something in my head, and I was like, fuck, like they can't keep risking this shit moving forward like the Lakers, because they lose LeBron, it's over for them. Like, it's over. Davis is not going to carry them to the promised land. I'm sorry, Lakers fan. I'm sure most Lakers fans probably agree with that. Davis just doesn't have that in him. And no offense, Davis. And yeah, and it just kind of like, okay, LeBron falls, the Lakers fall, and now that fall goes to signify how much more likely this year it is that LeBron may get re-injured or sidelined or not be able to play at his full potential because of how harsh this season has been on his body. And of course, the whole schedule of this regular season doesn't help. All right, so enough about LeBron and the Lakers. Let's move on. All right, I'm just going to touch on the Grizzlies and the Spurs real quick. Dylan Brooks had 24 points. John Morant had 20 points and 6 assists. Jonas Valanciunas had 23 points and 23 rebounds. That's a nice double-double right there, both in the 20s. The Memphis played how they should have, if that makes sense. Ja didn't do anything special. I was really hoping this could be kind of like what I was hoping with LaMelo, but that was just hope. I didn't necessarily expect it from them. You know, there's a big difference. And the Spurs just they didn't quit. They kept it close. They tried their best. DeMar DeRozan was doing his thing, and I just felt bad for Pop now that this is the second year in a row the man doesn't make it to the playoffs after that long streak that he had. Like, that was a long ass streak, and now it's been back to back no playoff run for him, and the guy is only getting older. Like what I was talking about LeBron, shit, think about with Pop. And I just felt bad, and it's like, man, I don't know. I have a soft spot for Popovich. Like, we've seen him play, well, not play, but be in the league for so long, and coach so long, and do all these great things. And it's just like, damn, in your winding years, you can still end it on a bang, but this team just doesn't allow you to. You know what I mean? So that's that. Now let's talk real quick. We're gonna touch upon it. I'm not gonna get too deep into it because Erwin and I will probably do a matchup prediction for at least one of the playing matchups. If not, we're just gonna jump straight into the first round predictions and matchup analysis and I already said predictions. All right. Anyways, I think Warriors are gonna watch the Grizzlies. They would have definitely watched the Wizards. But yeah, in the end, I think most people agree that the Lakers and the Warriors were just playing to see who was going to make it later down the road. The way that the Warriors played this game, they came out with way more fire than the Lakers, and even LeBron touched upon it in his post-game interview, and he even said that once they adapted, that's when they got things going. But I think they had to adapt. The Warriors already had that fire lit under their asses from the get-go. Curry is not playing this year, yo. Like, he is not playing. He's out here to show. I don't even think it's for people. I think it's more to show it to himself. Like, not that he's got it, but that he can do it and kill it during the moments that matter. You know what I mean? And seeing this Warriors team play how they did today, for me, just solidified more that they were gonna watch whoever won the 9th and 10th seeded game for the West, which obviously is the Grizzlies. And yeah, I had already very little doubt that either the 9th or 10th winner were going to be either the Lakers or the Warriors. Seeing as how the Lakers and the Warriors played, if the Lakers lost too, like, I still wouldn't doubt it. Now it's just like more solidified. They both play with fire. Seeing how Memphis played with the Spurs, it's just not gonna match up. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, I think, I'm not gonna say they're gonna run circles around Memphis, but I don't expect the Warriors Grizzlies game to be very close. I'm sorry, Grind City, but That's just how it is. And honestly, it's a very young squad with Memphis. So this is just them getting their feet wet. Especially a potential star slash superstar in Ja getting his feet wet, and we'll see where they go from here because it's still mostly young core. And facing the Warriors is a great testament. They faced the Spurs, and now they face the Warriors, who were all had dynasties in recent times. I mean, shit, y'all see that Oreo package there. I think I already touched upon this, but Oreo NBA Dynasty Challenge coming very soon. We already filmed it. Heads up, if you guys don't know what it is about, just stay tuned, sub, all that good stuff. It'll come within the next few days, and yeah. All right, let's move on to the East real quick. All right, I'm just gonna go through the stats that stood out to me to bring up to you guys. If you guys want some quick fill-in. All right, Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum obviously had 50 points with 32 coming from the second half. Kemba Walker had a quiet 29 points. That's basically 30. And I say quiet because obviously Tatum took all the shine as he should with 50 points. But yeah, the two stars doing their thing. Walker doing his thing, proving that, hey, I'm still here. I still got it. And I'm still going to do my thing for the squad, for the team. Because that's especially without Jaylen Brown. But even with Jaylen Brown, like Kemba, I feel like a lot of people have forgot that Kemba is Kemba, let him have his window of opportunity. I still believe that he'll pop off, he'll have his moment. I'm just waiting for him to have his moment. And Tatum obviously had his moment. And the only thing with Tatum I want to point out is that 32 came from the second half. They were playing against, not a team that defended them very well, or with especially pressure. I want to know if Tatum can do that later on when he faces higher tier teams. I mean, I believe they faced the Nets, so low key kind of doesn't matter. But I don't know, it's just something to think about. Can you turn it on earlier instead of later? Because that full package will help in the long run. Because you're not always going to be able to turn it on in the second half. You know what I mean? But anyways, the Pacers, one thing I want to touch on is they shot 55.2% from the floor and 45.7% from the three as a whole, as a team. That's insane. Sabonis had 14 points, 21 rebounds, and 9 assists. Very close, basically a triple-double, just one more assist. And they just proved, what the Pacers proved is that they can overcome Karis LeVert's absence for the time being. And they're going to play the Wizards. So, seeing as how they played, and quick stat, Wizards, Bradley Beal had 22 points. Westbrook had 20 points and 14 rebounds in their loss. I actually think the Pacers are going to beat the Wizards. I have very little doubt. And the big reason for that is the fact that the Pacers play better as a team, and the Wizards don't. And Westbrook doesn't have the best reputation of coming up in big moments. I forgot his stat for playoff games since he hasn't been playing with KD, but it's pretty bad. And that last game just kind of proved it even more, solidified that factor more. And I don't know if Beal's going to be able to just overcome everything and carry this team to the promised land, which is just the 8th seed. But so I expect the Pacers to win that one. But like I said, we'll get deeper into it from if we end up doing a prediction analysis for these playing games. But if we don't, that's that. This is just more post-game reactions after all 4 playing tournament games being played. I think after seeing what we saw in these first 4 games, playing tournament is here to stay. It's here to stay, and I think it deserves to stay. It's exciting. I like it. I enjoyed it. I love the fact that it's just one elimination game. If it was best 2 out of 3, even a small series, it just wouldn't be the same. This gives us more basketball, or more intense basketball, while at the same time not pushing it, and still gives the 7th and 8th team a fairer chance, because if they take the L in the first round, they still have another shot to go in. And with the 9th and 10th, they have to work even harder to win 2 games in a row to make it into the playoffs. So I see a lot of people saying how, got some comments in the Play and Explain video about the 7th and 8th, it's not fair, they work so hard, they should just be guaranteed into the playoffs. I still think the way that they did it is very fair because, for one, the seventh and eighth seed only have to win one game to get a guaranteed spot in the seventh seed. And like, yo, that's one game, like, and it's a 50-50, so either of those teams have a chance, and then you lose that one, you still have another full game, another full chance opportunity to get slotted into the playoffs. I think that's pretty fair, and especially for like a completely new system that we're trying out here in the NBA. And then the ninth and 10th seed, they have to win two to, because okay, yeah, they were lower in the regular season, but now you got to work harder just to make it into the playoffs. And you can win one and still lose the second one. And to me, that's fair. You know what I mean? You guys were ninth and 10th seed. Like, you deserve to have to play two games to get slotted into the last seed. So that's it. That concludes my thoughts on these four games. In short, all right, let's jump through it real quick. Memphis played hard, but they're going to lose against the Warriors. Lakers, watch out for them because of LeBron. I'm a little worried. I think everyone should be worried. Indiana played hard against the Hornets. LaMelo couldn't step up, and Indiana proved how well they play as a team, even without LeVert. Boston is Boston. We'll see how they react against the Nets. And the Wizards did what Wizard things do, so I expect Indiana to wash the Wizards, and I expect Warriors to, I don't want to say wash the Grizzlies, but definitely beat them. And yeah, that's about it. And the play-in tournament is here to stay, guys, because it's fun. I mean, you don't agree? Come on, like, I don't know. All right, that's it. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a sub, because like, we're gonna be doing this a lot. And I say we because obviously my co-host isn't here right now, but yeah, we'll keep doing more of these post-game reactions, and we'll see how it goes, and yada yada yada. I get very awkward how to end these things solo, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the play-in tournament. What you guys thought of these games? Should they keep it? Should they go? Was it too many games? Like, first four, like, is 4 in the beginning too many? Should they shorten it? Yada yada. What do you guys think of the play too? Like, how they played, or specific teams? All that good stuff. Drop it in the comments down below. Until next time, take care.